I was there for the final shows at Bryant Park, which is iconic in New York Fashion Week. And it was
Totally.
Betsy Johnson, who I became quite close with, and I did all her shows. She had DJs backstage who was giving everyone champagne. She was coming over sprinkling rose petals over everybody while they're doing hair. Like off the chart, she was doing her iconic cartwheel. Like that was one of the last shows at Bryant Park.
Hello and welcome back to Upgraded. I had a summer vacation and I'm officially back in New York, back in the swing of things. And today I am welcoming someone I've known for so long, and she's so amazing and so talented and just so cool. Jenny Balding. Okay, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. So before we even introduce who you are, what you do, put on your sunglasses, please.
Okay.
Join me in my adventure, because I know vacation's kind of over for me right now, but here's the big question I like to ask everyone. If you could go on a vacation and travel anywhere right now, even if it's just across town, where would you go?
I would probably say the first place that comes to mind is Rome. I don't know. I've been there several times, and that is hands down. I feel like I could genuinely live there. So I would say Rome for
Ama-
sure.
Amazing. I've never been, and it's just I can't believe I've never been.
I'm surprised that you haven't when you're always over in Europe.
I guess I've been waiting for the right moment.
You really can't go wrong with Italy. I mean, the culture, the food, just everywhere. The history is incredible. You cannot go wrong.
So amazing. I cannot wait to go. Okay, well, on that note, vacation wise, I just got back, and I know you travel a lot though. You travel because your homeland is overseas, technically.
Yeah. Now I'm from Scotland. I'm from Scotland. I've been in New York 22 years now.
Oh my
So I would
God.
say that I'm a Scottish New Yorker for sure.
Totally. Oh, this is a random question. Is there like a Scottish New Yorker like society or anything like that?
It's interesting because over the years, I would say like you have so many Australians here, like with that new
Yeah.
Australian bar that opened, like there's a big Aussie community and there's a huge Irish community, but Scottish, not so much. But then Scottish and Irish are like that. So
Yeah.
I would say my whole community would be a lot of Irish people, you know,
Right.
more
Right.
than Scottish. There's a few Scottish, but it's more the Irish. The Irish and the Scots stick together, you know.
Is there like a Scottish Irish bar or like restaurant that
Oh
you
my God,
know?
where is there not an Irish bar on the corner of New York? So, do you know what I mean? Like anywhere you go, there's an Irish bar on the corner. So, you know,
That is so freaking true.
yeah, it is. It's like if you go on the east side, Irish, 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 Irish,
I
everywhere.
mean, everywhere we go, it's like Irish bartenders, got,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone. The coolest people, so cool. I mean, it's the Scottish, and I
Just
mean, I'm
chill, just make fun of yourself, work hard, make fun of yourself, easy peasy.
so amazing, so great. So
Okay.
Jenny has been making my hair gorgeous with her cutting and styling for probably almost as long as she's been here. Okay. Like
I would say so. I was just saying that.
it's so amazing when you meet someone who gets you and gets not only your hair, but your style and your essence, and can understand what you're trying to articulate when you're getting your hair done and you have like an event or you have a shoot or you have a project, whatever it is. And for someone, a hair person, to be able to come in and to trust them with your hair, it's so much. Everyone knows this, right? Like,
Mm. Thank you. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. I always want to make sure everyone leaves feeling themselves, but the amazing version of themselves. I don't want people walking out with a brand new haircut. I want them to feel like an enhanced version of themselves to the highest level, you know,
it's so true. And you
you
do
know.
that. I can't even
Thank
tell
you.
you how many times you've done your magic. I'm like, okay, I kind of want this, and maybe let's try a little something new here. And you're like, I got it. Go in there, and everyone's like, you look so good. Thank you, Jenny Balding. She did
Thank you. And you
it.
know what the major part of that is like really listening to your clients, like the words that you say makes me realize I'm like, okay, I know where she's going with this, you know? So it's so important. It's just hearing what you're saying, watching how you put your hands through your hair. That just tells me everything that I need to know is huge. Like the consultation part is huge. I really pride myself in making sure I truly listen to the person that's in my chair. And I want to be there to enhance them, not put a haircut on them. It's to enhance their character, their personality, make them feel the best they can possibly feel.
So you are one of the owners of Cutler Salon, the Arlo location.
Yeah, so Cutler Arlo is my baby, but I've been with Cutler Salon and worked with Rodney Cutler for 22 years. And we have been open 7 years now. You know, we
Amazing.
had 58th Street, we've had Soho for 21 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Williamsburg for 10 years, and I've had this for close to 7 years. And then we have West Hollywood, which is 3 years. I remember the time when we were just starting as Cutler. We didn't even have bags with the name on it. We just started getting pens with Cutler on it. I was like, oh my God, we have pens saying Cutler.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I was handing out cards in the street at Fashion Week. I'd be like, have you heard of Cutler? Have you heard of Cutler? And now it's like, everyone's like, of course, all the models come in. That was in the day where we were grafting to get models, all the agencies, right back when we were one tiny salon up on 57th Street. So to help build and grow this business is it's amazing because I don't talk about this much. It's
Right.
an amazing feeling, actually. You're always grinding and just hustling all the time in New York. And when you take a step back and have a conversation like this, you're like, oh, wow, I'm actually doing what I said I was going to do since I was 17. I made a
Wow.
plan when I was 17 that this is my plan. I'm going to move to New York one day. I'm going to work at New York Fashion Week. And somehow, I don't know. And I even manifested, and now I have one that I was going to have a little New York girl. And I, that's very private, but I know. And now I have an almost 11-year-old little New Yorker.
I mean,
No,
it
but
was
in
so
my back of
cool.
my head, it
Right.
was that was in my head. It was like, this is my dream, this is my plan. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna do it. How do you get a visa? How do I get to America? No idea, but I was determined. And then I did it at 25,
I mean,
you know?
you've made your dreams happen, and they're like you're an inspiration. I mean, your people listening right now can like just it's such hard work. I mean, I see how hard you work. It's
Yeah.
not like no one handed this to you.
Nope.
No one. You fought for
Yeah.
this tooth and nail,
Yeah.
like you're saying, out on the street, grassroots, handing out
Yeah.
things. Come to my salon, do this, please
Yeah.
come check us out, check me out, check out what we're doing, check out our team. And you've always been so fierce like that since the first time I met you. And I was like,
Thank you.
instantly when I met you, I thought, oh my gosh, it's like it's a certain kind of person you get drawn to. Birds of a
Yeah.
feather, birds of a
Yeah.
feather. You're drawn together,
Yeah.
and like I was like, this person is so fierce, so tenacious. She's got the vibe I love. I want her doing my hair. I want her around me. I want that energy around me, and that's what I say. And what I want to tell everyone, like, go to Jenny. She knows what the heck she's doing. She's not going to mess around. She's not, and she'll listen to
That's
you.
so kind. I feel like that when we met each other all those years back. We both moved to New York at a very similar time. And we were like, right, here to hustle, get it done, live the dream as best as possible. But hey, blood, sweat, and tears, few more drops of blood and loads of tears. But I
Yeah.
finally made it. I got my green card. I had my visas, finally got my green card. But my God. And this is coming at a time right after 9/11. So trying to get a visa or a green card after 9/11 was just like, maybe probably as hard as it might be now due to, but 22 years ago, I was
I mean,
determined. I went, nope, 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 I am doing this. This is going to happen.
like nothing's going to stop you from your
Nope.
dreams.
No,
You're
I
where
was
there's a
literally
will, there's a
taking,
way.
yeah, I mean, literally taking pennies from the couch to pay for the subway way back 22 years ago. But I was like, no, I'm doing this, you know?
I've been there.
So,
I've been there.
yeah,
I've done
yeah,
that
I
too.
remember taking that because then to get the token for the subway, remember?
Yes. You're like, okay, good. I'm counting it out. Like, oh my gosh. So
Hmm.
crazy, but no regrets. I'm so glad. I was like, when you have that in your mind, you're like, nothing's
Yeah,
going to stop me. I have to
yeah,
get to work because I have my customers. I have my
yeah,
people. I have this to do. And and not that you have to, you want to. You're
yeah.
passionate. You're like, this is what I dream.
Well, this is my dream, and also now I'm doing it for my own daughter. Is another extra dream because I'm like, anytime I'm like, this is so hard. I'm like, no, I need to show her this is what it's like to be a strong woman. So
Amazing.
there's part of that as well. So
So freaking awesome.
mm.
Okay. I love all this so much. I want to ask, and this is something that everyone always asks me, Deirdre, what's trending? What's the next trend or what's trending now in hairstyles? And what can you share with people for what's trending now?
I always find out of the millions of interviews I've done over the years, the what's trending, I always find a little finicky. I love that word.
I know.
You know why? Because in New York, everyone's so individual and
Right.
not necessarily, it's not like when you go to the UK, everyone's, all the girls are following the same trend. They're all trying to
Yeah.
look like, a Kardashian or something. I'm like, what are you doing? You're in rainy Scotland with your drawn out eyebrows and all your plastic surgery. I'm like, what are you doing? But like, hair wise, I feel like in New York, everyone's very individual. I'm seeing a lot of this very in the last year or two, very like it's a very 90s bob, very boxy 90s bob,
Yeah.
or it's very long, effortless, but just very seamless, effortless, kind of carefree. It's just about
Right.
enhancing your nature, not wearing a trend. So it's
Right.
incorporating that into who you are. Like, I used to have my hair in like a choppy bob for ages and I absolutely loved it. But right now I'm going back to I always like my surfer girl vibe. I love
Right.
Kate Moss's, vibe and stuff like that. So I'm kind of going back into that. But I am seeing a lot of this very micro bob. It's very boxy, very
Yes.
90s, you
Oh,
know?
so interesting. Yes. You're
Yeah.
so right. I've been
Yeah.
seeing a ton of that too.
There's a lot of that, especially right now.
I just, for me, it's so funny because I've talked like for me personally,
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I would so love to do it.
I could actually see you doing that, but you need to be mentally ready. There's no point me doing it if that's the thing when people go, what would you do to my hair? And I went, well, I need to have a conversation with you first. Because I need to know where your headspace is at. I could chop your hair into a bob, but you're gonna wake up tomorrow morning and bawl your eyes out because you're not ready. You know?
Yeah,
It's true. It's like, yes, of
that's so
course I
true.
can do anything you want me to do, but I need to know where your head is at, how you're feeling emotionally. That is such a huge part of it.
So true. Speaking of that, has it
Mhm.
ever happened? I mean, I'm sure it has in all years. Has anyone ever cried like about a haircut? Like, oh, I
I
can't believe I just,
honestly, yeah, I mean, not to be bravado, but actually not because I was trained so well with the top people in the business way back in Scotland. They're internationally known. And if you get that consultation right, that's not going to happen. But I will say one thing. It's funny when you're like, was there any crazy stories? I had just gone on the floor. I was 18 years old, and this is in Scotland. And this woman said that I took off more than an inch. And I went, and I didn't know how to handle it because I was so new. And I went, no, I swear I didn't. And I got a ruler and
yeah.
I measured it. And then she was just not quite all their person, because then she said she was going to phone the police because I took more than 1 inch off her hair. And I was very new. And I remember my boss, I went downstairs and I just bawled my eyes out, going, I don't
Oh my
understand. It
God.
was so, but when I think back, it's so hilarious going, what?
I'm like, yeah, that's the thing is people get
You took
psycho.
more than an inch off. And I was like, no, I didn't. And I got a ruler and I measured it. And I was
I
so
love
new. I didn't know how to deal with people.
that.
But
That is so, but it's
yeah.
so weird because hair is so personal and then like people get so psycho
This
about it.
is
I
this
mean,
was like the late 90s. So I don't know what was going on. I was like, I'm moving to New York. I'm getting out of here. I was
that's,
like, I can't deal with these Scottish guys.
yeah.
No offense, Scottish people.
No, no, no. We all have our moments. I know I do. I mean, everyone gets like scared about what not to cut, what to cut.
When you're on shoots, it's a whole different thing because they're just adjusting for your look in that
Yeah.
moment. Whereas
Yeah.
I'm creating hair that's going to work for you every day. And so it's effortless. So
Yes.
I
Okay.
feel like, yeah, people on shoots, it's a different situation.
That is such a big lead in to my next question, actually. You've done so many fashion weeks. What is an iconic fashion week story maybe you could remember if you have any in
I will
particular?
tell you hands down because people ask me this all the time. So I've probably done 36 seasons at New York Fashion Week, probably, I would say, maybe even more. And hands down was when we closed at Bryant Park and moved it to Lincoln Center. I love we because I was so much to do with that.
Of
I was
course.
there for the final shows at Bryant Park, which is iconic in New York Fashion Week. And it was
Totally.
Betsy Johnson, who I became quite close with, and I did all her shows. And Betsy Johnson, not only did she have backstage, she had two backstages. She had DJs backstage who was giving everyone champagne. She was coming over sprinkling rose petals over everybody
Oh
while they're
my,
doing hair. Like off the chart, she was doing her iconic cartwheel. Like that was amazing.
I
Like
have chills.
nobody did shows like that. I know I actually do too.
I literally have
Nobody.
chills.
Yeah. And that was one of the last shows at Bryant Park, which is iconic because then they moved it to Lincoln Center. And then after that, it started being spread out around the city. So it's a very different feel. Not to sound, a little old, but back in the day, New York Fashion Week was just like I came from the era of like looking up and seeing, you know, the supermodels of the 90s. I was like, I want to do that. And I ended up doing some of them and it was amazing. I was like, oh my God, this is my dream since I was a little old 17-year-old girl in Scotland.
So
Um,
sweet.
I know it's so strange when I talk about it. I'm like, I really have accomplished so many things that I was trying to manifest. So
And this,
manifesting works.
yes, I totally agree. I completely feel that vibe too, and I love that about you so much. And you have. Now, here's a question about Fashion Week. They're coming up again here, the
Yeah,
season.
September.
And
Yeah.
do you have any predictions about the hair for the fall?
You really, yeah, you really can't because every designer has their own collection, their own feeling, their own vibe. So when I'm going in and directing hair for a show, then I'm looking at the collection and getting a sense of what the designer's like, and then we collaborate. It's not about what I want to do or what they want to do. It's like what can work in 2.5 hours on 28 models, but capture the essence of your collection at the same time. So it's a long process and it's always blows my mind. This is always done a week before. I'm such a planner. I'm like, why for 20 plus years, why is every design, it's always a week before. And I'm like, this is like, you know, but then that's why experience comes in handy. You have to think off the top of your head really quick, you know?
So for people listening, if you meet with the designer and they
Yeah.
tell you what their whole collection's about, and then
Yeah.
you present them with the what you propose for each model for their looks.
Yeah. And then I've got to work out who's your models, like how many models, like are we doing 35 models in the space of 2 hours or and then working with a makeup artist as well. So it's not about the hair, it's not about the makeup, it's about the image, you know, the whole collection, you know, is the final product. So it's just to all enhance their collection. And then it's building that character that they want, you know. I really do love doing it, but it is very intense because, you know,
Amazing.
well, you know, because all of us artists together, you get them in one room, there's a lot of creative energy.
So true. So Fashion Week's always an adventure. I know we were talking a little bit before about the salon. Do you have any crazy moment story like in the salon where someone asked for something super dramatic and shocking and you had to like, slow them down and say, "Are you sure?" And then they went through with it or they didn't go through with it?
I would say not as much nowadays. Back in the day, I feel like everyone's so style savvy now, you know, because you've got social media and people aren't coming in with blonde, straight hair going, I want to be curly and red. I mean, you could potentially do that, but people are more realistic these days. But back in the day, they go, have you got a magazine I can look through? When I think about it, I'm like, that's so old fashioned. But I feel like, no, the average Joe is now like style savvy. So you don't get so much of that can I have something that completely doesn't suit me? You know, or yeah, I mean, sometimes you realize that someone's going, I love her hair. Let's say, for example, I always use Kate Moss because her whole vibe is my whole aesthetic in all my work, you know, that effortless, seamless feel. But I'm like, you don't actually want her hair, you just want to be her. So it's trying to differentiate between do you want to be that person and their vibe, or is it their hair? So and that's what I have to do over the last 30 years is navigate what is it that you're actually looking for? Are you trying to be the, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
good. That's
it's a lot.
good.
It is, you know, because it's like I do it myself. And I'm like, I'll see something online. I laughed about this with one of my front desk people recently. And I was like, oh my God, I love that dress. And I bought it and it came and it looked so dowdy on me. And I was like, what the actual, it was like an awkward length. But on the girl in the video, she looked so attractive. And I was like, oh no, it's actually her look that I love, not the actual dress. And then I got it, I went, it looks totally rubbish and dowdy on me. And I was like, yeah. So I realized myself, I wanted to be that girl, not the actual, you know.
I actually did a shoot recently. He said, "Here, you can take it home with you." And I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." When I got home and I put it back on, I felt like a pilgrim.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly it. Exactly. Exactly. It is.
I
It's
was like,
because I put on this dress, it was like 3/4 length, black, really sleek. But I'm like, I look like an old grandma. It's just that she looks so beautiful. And I'm like, oh,
"Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So but it's funny, it's the same thing with her. It's like, are you looking like when people show me loads of photos, I'm like, okay, I can see that it's about the texture and it's the effortlessness, not necessarily the haircut. So that's where you have to have a really thorough consultation. So
love it."
important.
Oh,
My
it's so
point being, then you won't have problems of people going, being upset, or like I can honestly say, hands down, that's really happened to me, and definitely not in the last 20 years because I listen, you know. So,
I think the worst, I mean, I personally, I'm sure you personally have ever had a haircut where you're like, you didn't listen to what I was saying.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
had a couple of those where
That's
I,
why I cut my own. I'm kidding.
exactly, no, exactly. No, when like, there've been times where you weren't available, you know, like, where I've
Yeah,
had like sub people do it. And that's like, next thing you know, I'm like crying in the corner, like like upset because I'm like, this is totally not what I was
yeah,
hoping for.
yeah,
But you know, it happens. It happens.
yeah.
That's why you got to
Not
stick
in
with the
my
good
chair,
ones.
it doesn't.
That's right. Oh, that's so true. That's
Yeah,
so
not
true.
my chair. No tears in my chair. Only tears
No
of joy.
tears. That's like tears of joy. That's what I always
Tears of
say,
joy.
tears of joy. Okay, so speaking of that, I want to ask you, this is a question that I like to ask because it kind of tells about how people feel about themselves. What are three words that describe you? How would you describe yourself? I know that's a really hard question. I'm putting you on the spot about yourself,
Just because
but
I'm not so bravado to go, oh, I'm, you know, it's not in my nature because I'm Scottish, but
yeah,
I would probably say, off the top of my head,
yeah.
I would say very ambitious, very kind, and always up for a good laugh. Can't take life too
True.
seriously. Do you know what I mean? You gotta laugh. Do you know what I mean?
I love that. So
No,
true.
you gotta, like, the world is crazy. You gotta just, like, you know, as my business partner, Rodney Cutler, always says, you know, we're not surgeons here. We're only doing hair. It's fun, but it is a serious business. But you gotta just have a laugh, make it light, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Because we're all trying to get there. We're trying
Yeah,
to do our best, and I agree with you about having fun with it. You got to have
yeah.
fun on the journey.
Exactly. It's like being backstage at Fashion Week. I love that I've done a gazillion seasons because I see these little youngsters coming in going, oh my God, first looks now. And I'm like, we got this. Take it down a notch. It's all going to be okay. No one's going to die. We're going to get the clothes on the models and everything's going to be okay. And that's what I love about having experience in the business, you know, just so you can go, okay, let's just relax. This is not curing, you know, any diseases. We are doing hair and we're doing fashion. Back in the day, I used to be like, oh my God, first looks now and be having a heart attack. Now I'm like, I got this. We got this. I always run, you know, I always run in a timely manner. I will always have all your models done right bang when the show starts. So
You're so steady. You have steady hands, you know, and that it calms everyone. It
yeah,
calms. And
good.
so
Thank you.
I'm sure having you in as any part of a fashion week show or any kind of is such an asset to that brand because you're like calm and you're detail oriented, but you never freak out. You never freak
No,
out.
I quietly freak out inside, but I need to make sure my team and the designer doesn't know that. I could be
Yes.
having a major heart attack, sweating bullets, but
Yeah.
as long as people don't know that, that's the key, you
We have
know.
a good you're a good actor then because I never
I'm a
see
very
you.
good actor.
Yes, you are. That's good. I love it. Was there a moment when you were a little kid? I know you said you're 17 when you first realized you wanted to be a hairstylist.
I can tell you this because, again, this is a question that I get asked quite a lot. I knew I wanted to do, you know what? I actually remember writing down at school in my, I don't know what you call it in America, but we called it a jotter. And it was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I always wanted to be a fashion designer. But I didn't really know what that meant. I knew that was the direction I was going. And I must have been around 9 or 10.
Yeah.
But there was little girls that lived across the road from me, younger than me. And I used to, when I was 8 years old, go across the street to them, braid their hair before school, then come home, and then I would go to school. So I've technically been doing hair since I was about 7. It's kind of
Oh
weird,
my,
isn't it?
that is so
So
freaking
I kind of
cool.
knew, but because I had my mom made me have disgusting short hair. So I was always very envious of their long hair. So me and my
Oh,
disgusting bowl cut would go across the street, braid their hair, the three girls, and then they would go to school. And then I'd come across, my mom would be annoyed because I would be late to school. And I'm like, I'm doing their hair. And I was like 7, 8 years old. So I knew then. So the fashion
yeah.
designer then turned into, oh no, I think hair is my journey. But as my dad always said, if you're going to do this, you're going to take it to the highest level. You're not going to work in some rubbish salon locally around the corner. You're going to take it to the highest level you can. So that always stuck to me. I was like, oh God, okay,
Yeah.
right. I gotta,
He really
yeah.
helped you think big like that. He really
I know
helped
my
you
dad
start.
always was like, you have to think the most biggest and impossible way and then run with it, you know?
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
amazing. What an
He's
inspiration.
amazing. Still to this day, he's 85 and still to this day giving me the most sage advice that I listen to. And oh, hello.
Oh my, no, me too. I'm gonna
I
start crying
know.
over here. Like,
No, he's my guiding light. He's been my guiding light since I was like 7 years old. So yeah, I know.
That level of support and inspiration is such an incredible gift to your life. And
I know.
I'm just so happy you had him.
I don't take it for granted. I mean, we are very dark humored as well. We know this won't last forever, but you know, yeah. Anyway, so it was him that said, "Okay, if you're going to do hair," and back in the day in the '90s, that was deemed as such a, you must be really stupid. You can't do anything else but hair. People weren't celebrating creativity like they are now. I mean, look at all the. I mean, I could technically call myself a celebrity hairdresser, but I'm not. I
You
just hate
are.
using
Yes,
that
you
kind of stuff
are.
because I've done a
It's
million
true.
celebrities, a
Of
million
course.
famous people, but it's just a different world now. People, I know people really celebrate creativity, hair people, makeup people. But back in the day, it's like, oh, you're a hairstylist. So that's why my dad was like, well, if you're going to do this, you have to prove that you're going to go to the sky and beyond. The sky's your limit. So,
I love that. By the way, make it be known that I want you to do a reel of highlight photos of a whole bunch of,
maybe I
I think you should
should do.
pull
I
it
know. I've got to
out. It
look
just,
at, I know. Because I'm like,
people
how
would
do
love
I,
that.
all the like supermodels and all the
Yeah,
actors and stuff like that. But I'm like,
do it.
yes, thank
You
you.
know,
Thank
I
you.
know you're too big. You're too busy. You've been so busy with your life. You've got a full life.
I'm
But I'm
going to
just saying,
hire you to do it. There you go.
yeah, exactly. I mean, people are always asking me to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I get it. So, so I love that you had the inspiration. But do you remember your first haircut? Do you remember this time you took scissors? Did you cut your own hair? Did you cut someone else's hair?
Yes, I do. When I was training, I went for a very, very strict hairdressing academy with a brand that is huge. It's changed now. It was Rusk, but it used to be Risa Rusk, but they got bought over by Conair. Anyway, way back in the day. So the way they trained me was it would take me 4 hours to do a haircut in their training academy because they would show you once and they're like, think, listen, and watch. So I came from a super strict background, which I try and ease up on assistants these days because I'm like back in my day. But no, they would literally be like, I'm not helping you. You need to figure this out yourself. I've given you the mental tools, like I've shown you. Now do, So very interesting, very different way than it is nowadays. They would pay like £10 at the training academy, British pounds. And they knew they were going to sit there for hours. But my God, that trained me to be the most impeccable with detail, because no one was going to help me. So
Your technique is so special too. Because I don't even know what it is. It's like you
I
were
like that you
taking.
do.
You're like it's like magic tools. Like this is
Yes.
obviously I am not a hair cutter. So, but I was gonna say I'm not a stylist, and I appreciate what you do so much because you go in there and you create all the texture that it's needed. And do you like doing? I know you do both, and this
Yeah.
is impossible to answer, but you do both men's and women's hair.
Yes,
So
very much so.
yes, and do you do more men or more women, or about 50-50?
I would say my clientele is probably around 30% male, 70% female. And that's because it's interesting because some guys will go, well, what you're doing that's so different. I went, it's because I'm tailoring it to you. It's like instead of like buying a shirt off the rack, you're going to get it tailor made. I'm tailor making it to the shape of your head, your hair texture, any way it moves. So it's really bespoke to you. It's custom designed. So that's why the price is what it is.
Yeah.
And so the guys that come to me, they really want something that's, completely custom to them instead of just going to Barbara down the street and getting like a number two and
Speak on behalf of my sweetheart, Chris.
Yes.
You do such a gorgeous job. You know, his stylist before you, who he had for many years, ended up moving away. And it was like this weird limbo time. And we tried a couple different people that he had recommended that he
Yeah.
knew. Finally, I'm like, well, we should go to Jenny. Go to Jenny. I know her.
Yeah.
I can vouch for her. And I will tell you, like, I've never seen a better haircut on him, like, than
Thank
what you do.
you.
You
Thank
really,
you. I'll pay you later. Thank you.
yeah, it's so funny. No, but he's so particular about his hair, like we all are. But he really is one of those guys that cares so much about his hair,
Yeah.
and he doesn't just want to go in and have the side shaved and whatever. Like he
Yeah.
wants to have it like
It's
really
tailor made to his texture, his wave, get the maximum, make him look his
right,
very best.
right, and even like the shape of your head matters too,
Massively,
because
massively.
it's
Because
like certain
not
ways.
everybody has a perfect round head.
So I like to ask people this, and it's kind of a interesting question, but is there anything you want people to know about you or anything you have going on you want to share about you as a person?
I think when you come into the salon and if you're in my chair, what I love most is that I truly try to get to know someone's personality before I even touch their hair. And that doesn't need to be a massive, big conversation. Let's just have a chat. I can get your vibe. I can tell the way you're touching your hair. I can tell the way you're talking about your hair. Because some people come in with very long hair and they'll go, I don't want to cut it off. I'm like, well, why would I want to? Your hair is long intentionally. I want to enhance the best version of you. You don't want your haircut to wear you. You just want to look like an enhanced and amazing version of what you already are. That's why I would say mainly, you're not coming in, I'm not going to just give you a haircut. I'm going to enhance the best version of you.
I love that, Jenny. So before I end every episode, I always like to appreciate little moments in my day and my life and celebrate some good moment. So is there anything you want to celebrate today that we can celebrate together?
I would love to celebrate that just everybody really look after each other and be very kind, because you never know what the next person is going through. And in the world the way it is today, just be grateful and be very kind to the next person, stranger or not.
Here's the kindness. The kindness.
Cheers.
I love it. Cheers. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for coming on here. And I'll see you in the salon very soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Deirdre.
Love you. Bye.
Please do us a huge favor and like and subscribe. Show your support. We really appreciate it. Bye.